I'm Jochem, lead developer of Coromon. I do most of the programming work, but also the creative vision, leading all team members towards the same end goal.
I'm Marcel. I'm the other developer. Mostly take care of the world building, the stories, the cutscenes, those kind of things.
So we started developing Coromon about 7 years ago. We started with the idea that we wanted that old nostalgia vibe back, as in the GBA era games. We loved playing those games, spending thousands of hours on them, and finding all kinds of little details in them. So what we did with Coromon is having a good look at what we liked in those games, and we put all of that together to create our own. So here we started as a standard JRPG game, just waking up and getting to know the world around you in a cozy setting.
Yeah, I really love the inspiration behind it, and of course, a lot of the nods to those really popular, like you mentioned, GBA titles and JRPGs. What were some of the immediate features, or one of the ways that you folks wanted to make your game different, but still, still retain the heart of the monster taming genre?
Yeah, I think of course, you're seeing that we're using the monster taming formula, and that's especially for the battles, I think. As in, we love those battles, we love those, how the battles work with turn-based strategy and having a squad of many creatures. But we also loved other aspects, such as we think other JRPGs have a way better story than the P word, and we think combining those elements, such as puzzle elements from Zelda games or Golden Sun games, combining them all together is what we would like as a gamer ourselves. So you can already see Marcel playing around in the house, seeing all kinds of little details, such as standing in front of your little brother and makes him shout at mom. Putting interesting objects over here as well.
I really like the little details of these very modern, like, your character has a beanie and your little brother's haircut. Things just look a lot more modern, compared to what might be in a conventional JRPG. I think it's more like culturally relevant. It looks really cool.
Yeah, thank you. That's indeed what we're going for. Most JRPGs are really a little bit outdated, not really outdated, but in the early days, just in the history. And what we try to do is that this game is playing out slightly in the future, so about 20 years from now, and that really comes with modern design, I think. So what you're seeing here is a difficulty selection. We try to let the game be accessible to every kind of player. So either you're a casual gamer just wanting to enjoy the story and do some battles, or you're a experienced monster tamer and you want to do a challenge. That's also why we offer 3 save slots to start.
How long do you feel it took you to get down the lore, at least the narrative aspect, because it's a particularly large world to map out. So what was the process like drawing out the story? Were there things that you wanted to cut away, or maybe too many details, or maybe at some point you didn't have enough details? But what was it like story building for this world?
I think we had many stories over the time. As in, we started out looking more at the Pokemon aspect of a story, but we eventually really didn't like that, as in it really felt incomplete. So we scrapped all of it, and we let the world stay, as in the world building was already different with a lot of biomes, a lot of different kind of dungeons. But as in narrative-wise, we really scrapped it all and had another look, as in how do we want this game to feel. And yeah, I'm not sure even. It's just over the years, it just started coming along with the boss battles, with the dungeons, with the background lore of the game, and we're working together with a narrative designer to really get all of that detail to work together.
Wow, and I really love the design. I love the scenery and the art style. It's really distinct, considering, again, we know the genre, we know how this type of thing plays out, but it still looks distinct, and it really pops.
Yeah, thank you. We really try to also make every area you go to a whole different kind of area, so you have all new kinds of new things to explore. What you're also seeing here, by the way, in the wild battle, is that there's a Coromon with the same species, but with a different colorizations. This is because of the potential of our Coromon. This is a new mechanic we introduced. And what this actually does, it puts a value to a Coromon, and that value determines how strong this Coromon can be. And that's especially well seen when getting some experience, because when getting experience, you don't only level up your regular level, but you also level up your potential level. And leveling up your regular level is like any other JRPG. You get a predetermined set of stats, which you'll get on your Coromon. But leveling up your potential goes like this. So what you see here is you can allocate the stats yourself, so you can really change the way Coromon feels in a battle.
Wow, yeah, that's very different because it's predetermined usually, all the way down to the kind of stats that the Pokemon or the creatures are like hatched or born with. I was thinking about how Pokemon, you do your breeding and then they have predetermined stats, but that looks a lot more, like there's a lot more flexibility there.
Yeah, exactly. We wanted to make it accessible, as in there's a lot of the hardcore monster taming community knows about these details, but almost nobody else knows about these. And we really wanted to make this accessible and let the player think about this, so they can really strategize their way into it. As in, we love strategizing, not just steamrolling with a single damage spell.
Some of the items were picked up, and I was curious what those items did. There was a ground spinner, and then I think a few more right before this interaction.
Yeah, I think we can have a look at the inventory when we start out this battle, so we can just have a look at some of those.
Wow, that's cool. I didn't realize what the Coromon come out in.
Yeah, it's a spinner. I think we'll start out with that then. The spinners are the Coromon containers. It's a high-tech device you've gotten from Luxolus, the company you work for. And yeah, these are the containers the Coromon stay in. You throw them, they stay in your gauntlet, which is a device around your arm. Mm-hmm. And that's how you can recognize other tamers, by the way. And yeah, you put them in spinners. What you also see here is the cakes, which is our equivalent of a potion.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's a little bit more charming. You give food to your Coromon, and they have a certain effect.
Instead of medicine.
Yeah.
So, and where did y'all go for, or at least just thinking about inspiration, thinking about different muses or different things to get ideas from. Where did you get, or where did you go to come up with some of these creatures? Whether you're thinking about the name or you're thinking about the model, what kind of process did you guys have when you were thinking about the world of the Coromon?
I think there are 3 steps there. As in, we start out with just balancing out the world with the elements, as in just so many fire elements, fire type Coromon, so many ice type. After that, we're looking at mostly animals, just creatures in the world. You can just Google them. After that, we'll think in, wouldn't this be cool? As in a squid with a fire team or a moth with an ice team. And after that, I think most of the recognition goes to our monster designer, which creates something awesome with it, as in having smooth animation and really an awesome concept. And a third step to that is coming up with names, which is a fun process.
Mm-hmm. And I'd mentioned earlier, like breeding. Is there a system like that, similar to breeding Coromon, or sort of
There's
like creating
honestly
your own?
there's honestly no need for a breeding system. As in, we can already determine where the allocatable stats can go. So it's really less of a tedious process to get these stats there, and you can even, yeah, try out different strategies by doing this without having to spend thousands of hours to breed the perfect one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what we're seeing here is one of our dungeon mechanics. This dungeon is full of booby traps and things you need to evade or solve. And yeah, we always try to come up with unique mechanics for our dungeon. We've never seen in other games ourselves. So we're not only trying to test the player here with Coromon fights, but also in the overworld by letting me solve puzzles and even being a little agile, evading those darts.
And what happens when when you've got just like no more hit points? Do you go to the beginning?
Yeah, you'll be teleported back to
Oh, nice.
one of the healing centers.
Okay.
And in our case, that's actual teleportation. You have a device with you, and Luxalis is monitoring your squad and will teleport you back to the city when you're in danger.
Oh wow. There's a lot going on.
Marcel's done it more often, so he's pretty experienced in this.
Right. And so
So
what?
here we are. Sorry, go on.
I was just gonna ask what features of the different Coromon separate them from each other? Are there different, or like sort of types or abilities or?
Yeah, I think we can show that in a summary. I think there are many differences. So, for example, to start out with are the stats, of course. They have different stats, different stat distribution. As in, one is way more in attack phase, or one is more defense focused. Of course, the types, which is a slight difference as well. As in, I can explain that a little later with the type manual. After that, we have the skills, which are a relearnable set of skills. So you can always switch the skills when you like. As in, we could imagine you want different strategies for different battles.
Mm-hmm.
So we really wanted that to be possible. And after that, there are traits. So we have a set of traits for every species of Coromon, which we really try to make unique, so they really feel different in the battle. And this is a combination of passive and active traits. Some traits can even light up the world around you, or cure a poison of another squad member.
Oh wow. That's cool.
You see now is Marcel solving a puzzle. He uses the booby traps on the floor to eventually create a pathway through the center.
Mm.
So we really want the player to stand still for a moment, analyze the situation, and then eventually solve it themselves. We really like puzzles ourselves, so we try to put in a lot of different mechanics. We're still figuring out the details, but I think as of now we're going for different kind of leagues, as in the level 25 league, level 50 league, level 99 league, and also with ranked and unranked battles.
That's cool.
What we're seeing here is a Titan encounter, one of the biggest creatures in the region here. We have 6 of those, and every Titan should bring a new mechanic into the battle. So what we're doing here is we're standing against Sard, one of the boss battles. What you probably already see is that the HP bar is a lot bigger. It's about 10 times as big as any other Coromon.
Mm-hmm.
So these battles are really about endurance and thinking steps ahead. So you really should think about the effects you can do which have a long-term effect. For example, burning him. Most of the times you'll probably need all of your squad members to even defeat one of those.
Mm. Are there any indicators on the moves where where you could select your move, where one might be more effective than another, or what is it?
Definitely. I think Marcel can show that in one of the next Coromon. Probably going to for origin. Here's it. What you can see here is the green indicators on top of the skill buttons there indicate that that move is very effective, and the red one on the left was a not effective indicator.
So it looks like there are just a lot of options to approach a battle. It doesn't seem like every battle is the same.
Yeah, that's what we try to do as well. As in, for example, now the second phase of the Titan starts in, giving you a battle within a battle, because the Titan called upon 2 of his beasts. After this one, there's even a third stage of this Titan. But we really try to make things new, as in things you haven't seen before. And just every battle should be a new experience, and every Coromon you get should also be a new experience with interesting mechanics like the curse you've just seen, depleting the stamina of your opponent. You can also see, by the way, here is that Marcel used a cake, and these cakes sometimes come with an additional effect. In this case, it overcharged the stamina of Sheartooth. So what that does, it gives you additional SP above the actual stamina pool of your Coromon. So using a cake can sometimes be a different strategy than just taking a rest.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Luckily we gave Marcel a pretty strong Coromon, so he's able to endure this battle.
Yeah, and it was a pretty lengthy battle too, and you're talking about a battle within a battle, so when it changes phases, it's like you now have to change your approach in the midst of fighting, so that's really dope.
Yeah, normally you would do that, as we gave Marcel a pretty strong one, so he could endure it all. So what's happening here is Quidma got experience even after fainting and evolved mid-battle. And there we are, at the end of this demo.
Wow, thank you for that. The lore is really rich and really deep, and the visuals are, again, distinct. I love this genre, and I'm a huge fan of the other GBA titles and JRPGs that we've seen come out of this genre. But this not only just looks interesting, but new and refreshing. So thank you for sharing.